into the final corner, maybe even ahead of it. We have an opportunity. I try to dive down the inside. We make contact. Welcome to round 8 of our FIA GT Championship 1997, where we are now entering the sharp end of the season with only 3 more races to go, including this one. And this is actually the final European race of the season before we have 2 flyaway races in the US as we race in Mugello, Italy today. This is actually a ported over track from Project Cars 2, which was done by the Project Cars modding team. Link to that track is in the description, of course. In real life, this might have been the race of the season, maybe together with the rain-affected race in Silverstone, as this one saw a thrilling battle between the number 10 Mercedes of Nannini and the number 8 BMW McLaren of Soper and Leichter after the number 11 of championship leader Schneider retired after contact with the GT2 car whilst lapping them. In the end, the McLaren had the upper hand, took the win, and Soper and Leichter retook the championship lead from the car-hopping Bernd Schneider. In our season here, we can actually decide the championship in our favour already, and naturally, this is the target of this race, to cut any loose ties before heading stateside. To do that, we only need to avoid being outscored by more than 2 points from Boutsen's number 6 Porsche, and I am very optimistic about that given our current track record this season. Our number 9 McLaren started this race from 7th, which should be a good starting point for another points finish. And with the rest of the grid on your screen right now, it is time to go racing at Mugello. Well, and here we are rolling towards the line at an overcast Mugello. No rain expected though for this race. It will just stay that way. It is late September and temperatures are not that warm, so tire temps might again be an issue like we had in Hockenheim, and immediately we're overtaken into turn 1 by a couple of Porsches. Chris Goodwin in the Parabolica McLaren having a look down our inside. He briefly gets ahead, but then we have the inside line for that left-hander here. Also trying to get alongside Boutsen again. And we will have the inside again for the next corner, but Boutsen squeezes us there. So, no love lost between the two of us. Of course, he is trying to hold on to that championship and at least take the fight to Sebring, which would be the next race. This is the goal, I think, of the number 6 Porsche. And so far things are looking good. We lost 1 position since the start, but through the Arrabbiata corners now. Boutsen is losing a bit of time, and we get another chance to attack him. This time it is a right-hander that we have the inside of, and we actually get alongside and pass. I try to be early on the throttle, but there is the other BMW McLaren in the way. Running a bit wide there, but we stay ahead of Boutsen, and where we are back where we started this race. Actually, a lot of angled corners that lure you into going onto the power too quickly, but a nice and flowing track. This is Mugello. Lovely to drive actually, but I haven't really raced often here, so I need to get used to that track and into the flow as we find a lot of grip around the outside here as we pass our teammate Soper, and therefore we're up into the championship point scoring positions. As it stands, after lap 1, we will be winning the championship. But yeah, it is a long race. Strategy will play a role, and the Porsches had the advantage strategy-wise in these 1-hour races, as they usually could make this with a 1-stop, or at least, in the case of Hockenheim, a short last stop with a 2-stop strategy. So yeah, they have the better fuel mileage, but so far we and the Mercedes had the pace advantage. And in the early stages of this race, it looks to be just that case again. Still, I'm trying to get in the flow of this circuit, which is so important, as unlike any other circuit, or well, this has a flow, unlike many of other circuits that we have raced at. No really heavy braking zones. All of the corners moderately quickly at least. Ooh, yeah, I had a look there against Mailänder. He went off the track then the second part of that corner. So that is an easy position gained. And now we're already up to 5th. And the top 4 are running just ahead of us. It looks like Yannick Dalmas in the number 7 Porsche is leading this race. And as it seems, he is a bit of a cork in the bottle. As again, Porsche's not the quickest cars, the Porsche 911 GT1. But as I said, they have the fuel advantage. As we're already starting lap 3. But we're making very good progress. As it's a 3-4-way fight maybe into turn 1. Everyone's trying to get past that Porsche. We take the outside line, and that actually works wonders as both Ralf Kellernes and I think it was the Nini left the track there. So that was 2 easy positions gained. As we're now following Yannick Dalmas and, of course, Bernd Schneider. And again, I'm trying to take this alternate wide line through the final corner, which has worked wonders earlier this race. Didn't work as well this time, but we're getting a fantastic slipstream on the both of them. Schneider tries to take the inside line against Dalmas, who tries to cut him off. So there's a lot of space on the outside. Into turn 1 we go. But we are too cautious on the brakes, too early. And then I tried to run the wide line here, which is not working at all in turn 1. So we have to stay behind for yet another lap. And don't forget, in the mirrors you're briefly able to see it there, Steve Soper is still there, also trying to find his way through. No, I'm wrong, it is Ralf Kellernes in the privateer Rook Porsche. So, again, as we approach the run towards the 2 Arrabbiata corners, this track just lovely, works with the nature and the elevation of the scenery there. Beautiful, beautiful track, this Mugello. Unfortunately, yeah, you don't see this track very often, as we have a chance here to benefit from Schneider's battle with Dalmas. Almost goes off the road there. Trying to have a look down his inside. As again, he's trying to get alongside Dalmas, who really is holding us up there. So Dalmas' pace at these early stages not really great, but somehow he manages to hold on to this lead. Again, we try the wide line through the final corner. We're early on the throttle, and at the exit we're already alongside and past Schneider. This time getting a good run on Dalmas. The inside line is free this time, although he still tries to squeeze us, but we had our car alongside. We reached the braking point first, but again, I'm too early on the brakes. Dalmas slips through. Again, I try to stay alongside on the outside, but it's just not working in the turn 1, so we lose the position to Schneider yet again. So this battle is far from over, and I don't think it will be over quite soon. As again, we're going through the technical bit of track. Well, pretty much everything here is technical, except maybe the long start-finish straight. It's not really a chance to overtake here through these two very fast right-handers. But also blind because they're going over a crest. This we tried to do a lap earlier. This time we're further alongside on the second part of that corner, and again Schneider runs wide, stays ahead for the moment, but this time this is an opportunity for that long downhill right-hander here. Schneider hugs the inside line. We try to be all on the throttle on the outside, doesn't work. Now this left-right flick, and we're getting a fantastic run on Schneider. Into the final corner, maybe even ahead of it. We have an opportunity. I try to dive down the inside. We make contact. We half spin him. Oh, I turn him back the right way around. Ralph Callender's slips through. But that was a controversial incident. Now, I see that my move was ambitious, but I feel like, also looking at it again, that Schneider moved a bit on the braking, and that was which caused the contact. I was very close to him. Could have given a bit more room, but essentially I think he moved on the braking, as we are still trying to fight him. Now it's Callender's up to P2 even. Yeah, as we're down to 4th, let's look at the replay. And this is where this all started. Here we get alongside. He holds on to it, leaves the track with all 4 tires, but that doesn't matter in this case. You can drive wherever you can drive in this series. No give the position back shenanigans. And then here we get a good run. Really excited or interested on how this looks on the outside. Here we commit to the inside line, and then I think he moves a bit early, even before the corner starts. So anyway, no penalties were issued. I deem this as a racing incident. I think we both could have done more to avoid that, but usually it's up to the car behind to make a clean pass. But again, I think Schneider kind of moved on the braking. Now, give me your opinion in the comments down below. But yeah, we both lost a position. We both got punished. So yeah, let's just race on and see how this develops. So back to the live images as we are going through the Arrabbiatas. Schneider somehow trying to have a look on Callender's, and that allows me to slip through on the outside. Don't know what he was trying there. Well, he got really slow. Not really corner where he would overtake, but well, I take it. Up to 3rd again, and now it's 2 Porsche 911 GT1s, I say, as Mailander dives down our inside. Ooh, and I lose it on the grass at the exit because I tried to be really early on the throttle. We lose the position to Schneider. We lose another position to our teammate who defends the inside. But again, I will take the outside. And this has worked a charm. Back into 3rd again. Ooh. Now, 11 minutes into this race, and this one really got exciting. A lot of contact, controversial wheel-to-wheel battling. But yeah, let's hope this calms down again. As this time at least we managed to stay ahead of Schneider after turn 1. Well, later that lap, we were already close to the back of Callender's in the customer Porsche. And again, our favorite corner to overtake coming up. Again, we get a terrific run. This time we're even alongside into the braking zone. We are on the outside, which doesn't matter to us in the final corner. Look at that, power down. We accelerate, and up to P2 we are. And maybe it is a long straight towards turn 1. We're getting a fantastic run, plus slipstream against Yannick Dalmos. We have the inside line. Do I dare to be late on the brakes? No, I don't. I don't really feel confident with that turn 1. And again, I run wide here. So we have to wait at least one more lap, unless there is any unlikely situation before that final corner. And it is yet another fantastic run out of that left-right flick into the final corner. We're alongside. We have the outside line early on the power, and I think that should be us into the race lead, at least for the moment. Will be crucial to hold it into turn 1. But I think we got a fantastic run. We're quicker in a straight line, even though he has the slipstream now. We should be fine. And fine we are. Keep the lead out of turn 1, but there was another problem now. All that fighting and battling, we were burning off a lot of fuel. And, well, I thought we could do this as a one-stop again, but there is still something open from that race in Donington. Again, it will be very, very close, and I would have to save a bit of fuel in the second stint. And that is just not that much fun. So, let's just try the Donington strategy again, but this time we're pitting from the lead. Again, I will be putting in less fuel on that first stop, no tire change, to then have another shorter second stop with refueling, but also tire changing. So, yeah, let's see if we can make this work this time. We were gapping Yannick Dalmas in P2. And we will be coming in with most of the McLarens and Mercedes again. The Porsches, which are passing us now, will stay out. They will still have a couple of laps from what we were able to observe earlier this season. I think behind us, one of the Mercedes just parked. It is a 22.9 second stop for that first pit stop. The others will take, I guess, around a minute for refueling, full tank refueling plus tires. We will have that longer stop later this race, so now we can push. Well, you see me in P10 now. Let's just jump ahead in time a bit. We're already up to 6th, and now all of the other Porsches ahead of us are in the pits, so back into the lead we go. And from here, it is about clean lapping and building that gap in the lead, so that right now, with just over 11 minutes to go, as we are approaching the final corner, so that we will hopefully still come out in the lead, or at least close to the leaders, to try and chase them down on fresh tires with a lot of fuel to burn, while they might have to conserve a bit. 38.1 seconds this time for the second pit stop. We're approaching the pit exit. We're still in the lead. Still in the lead. Looking in the mirrors, nobody to see there. I checked after the race, so the gap now is around 5 seconds to P2, which is still Yannick Dalmas. But we have cold tires, so this first lap will be crucial. Gently, we will have to bring those tires up to temperature. We won't have the grip that we had all race earlier. And let's see how the temperatures are building. As said at the beginning of this race, temperatures are quite cold. on this overcast autumn day in Mugello. But with these middle to high speed corners that we have a lot here, tire temperatures are still going up quite quickly because of the abrasion that we have here. You can already see that front right is a bit struggling with the temperatures because most of the corners are right-hand turns, so lefts are getting a bit more temperature in, but already we can feel the grip rebuilding in those tires. The grip will actually be much better than it was before, and yeah, now even though it's still kinda a bluish green, the temperatures are slowly getting in the window. So from here now, with 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go, we should be able to build a gap, and well, spoiler alert, we did just that. We are in a comfortable lead as we are just about to start the final lap of this race, where I will be pushing again to try and get the fastest lap of the race as well. So we're now coming on the final corner, and this will not only be the final lap of this race, but also the final lap before we are crowned champions of the FIA GT Championship 1997. Let's just enjoy this one. Ooh, and I almost lost the car there on the curb. Caught it still. So that was a little heartbeat-raising moment there in the final seconds of this race. But around the final corner we come now. Early on the power. And across the line we go to not only win here in Mugello, but also win the championship in style. Well, let's still look at the point scorers. We win, of course, ahead of Yannick Dalmas, who held on to second, though he was followed quite closely by the two other Porsche 911 GT1s that finished in the points. Ralph Kellernas in the Rook Porsche and Thierry Boutsen in the other Works Porsche. Schneider and Soper complete the point scorers today. And here are the championship standings after round 8. We are 29 points now out of Thierry Boutsen, and with only 20 points on offer in the final 2 races, that means we are champions. And that might actually be the first time on this channel that I won a championship that I've competed in, and quite dominantly we did, with 2 races to spare. Boutsen second, pretty clear of Schneider in third, though this is not fully decided, and behind that is a very, very close battle between Soper, Dalmas, Mailänder and Pedro Lamy. In the team's standings, Team BMW Motorsport extends their championship lead also over Porsche, but this one still not quite over yet. But still, the gaps between first, second, third and fourth actually are quite substantial, but behind this it might get a bit more interesting. So that has been it for round 8 of the FIA GT Championship 1997 in Automobilista 2 here at Mugello. Next time, as already mentioned, we will be going to the US, as we are going to go racing at Sebring. Subscribe to not miss that, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.